Novo izdanje emisije Oni vole Srbiju. Naš današnji gost je košarkaš Crvene zvezde Džordan Nwora. Da ne gubimo vreme, idemo da ga upoznamo i da čujemo njegovu priču. I want to thank you so much for your time. It's a pleasure to have this conversation with you. So my first question is, how do you feel? Because you've been out of the court for a couple of weeks. How do you feel, Džordan?
I'm feeling a lot better now. Obviously, when it happened, I didn't think it was anything crazy, but I think the team's done a good job just making sure I get back and don't do anything that can make what I have going on worse. So I'll be back very soon.
Tell me one thing, how much do you miss the court?
I miss it so much. I was in a good rhythm, the team's in a good rhythm. I'm just happy that they stayed in a good rhythm even when I was out. So hopefully we can just keep it going.
Mm-hmm. And you guys, when you play together, you have this crazy energy. It's amazing to see you on the court together, but we're going to talk about Zvezda a little bit later. You know, every time I start this conversation, I want to start with the beginnings. And you have a very interesting story because you are American Nigerian.
Yeah.
You were born in Buffalo, right? So tell me more about your upbringing.
Yeah, so obviously I was born in Buffalo. My dad is Nigerian. My mom is actually from Syracuse, New York. Okay. So my dad came to Buffalo for college to play basketball when he was 18. Mm-hmm. First time in the States, like one suitcase came to the States. He met my mom there. Settled down in Buffalo, met each other in college, and then happily ever after. And then I'm the first son. I have 3 little sisters.
Okay, cool.
It's a lot. 3 little sisters is a lot, but it's great. And you know, I love Buffalo. Whenever I tell people I'm from New York, it's a big, you know, contrast being from New York City and Buffalo, being so far away. But you know, Buffalo is my home forever. I'm excited every time I go back. My family's still there, sister's still there. So, yeah, it's a part of what made me.
And that's super cool because you have 2 cultures at home. You have the American and you have the Nigerian. That's great. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's just, to me, it's just something I'm used to. And obviously because of my dad, I have a lot of also Nigerian friends. Even now on Red Star, I have a lot of Nigerian teammates here. So I kind of grew up like understanding the 2 cultures, both from my mom's side and my dad's side. And they did a great job raising not only myself but my sisters to know both. And I appreciate it a lot. I've been to Nigeria several times, played for the national team, obviously. So, you know, it's something that I'm super happy and proud of to have both.
And your dad is a basketball coach, right? Yeah. So I think that he had an influence, right, on your career and your path.
The biggest influence. So my dad coached JUCO, junior college in Buffalo, my whole life. I think he got the job the year before I was born. So my whole life I grew up in the gym with him, watching his college team. Once I got to maybe around middle school, like end of middle school, early high school, I was practicing with him, working out with him. He was waking me up at 6 a.m. before school to go practice with his team and go to school right after. But I never actually played for him until he got the job as a Nigerian head coach. And I played for him for the first time in the qualifiers going into my sophomore year of college. Super crazy experience. Finally having your dad as like your coach on a national team. It was tricky to navigate a little bit at first just because it's your dad, and obviously I grew up with him. My perspective of him is a lot different. It's very different from any other player just because of the relationship we have. But it was good. I wouldn't trade it for the world. You know, I got to, after that, play in the World Cup for him as a head coach, and then after that, play in the Olympics with him as a coach. So it was great memories that I will have, you know, forever. Not a lot of people. I think we might have been the first one of the first to, father-son duo in the Olympics, coach and son. So it was super, super cool.
Yeah, we have the brothers, but we never had the father-son.
Yeah.
I think we had the brother. But tell me one thing, because I remember once when I was talking with Coach Messina, the coach of Olimpia Milano, he told me that when he started his coaching career, he was coaching his brother, and he was more severe with his brother because he didn't want the other people, to judge him for that. What was your situation? Was your dad more severe with you for that reason?
He made it so obvious. He was so hard on me over anybody, but like you just said, it's something he had to do. And part of it was tricky was I was playing on the Nigerian team. Mind you, Nigeria at the time in Africa was, the best basketball country in Africa at the time when everybody's playing and they have everything going on. Nigeria is, a powerhouse in Africa. So we had everybody playing. Guys are getting cut trying to make the team. And then I'm coming in as an 18, 19-year-old. Haven't played pro, just in college. I didn't play much my freshman year to come play on the national team. So before I even played, people kind of have the narrative, oh, this guy's just playing because his dad's a coach. And then the first, during the qualifiers, I think I broke the scoring record, like everything. And like my first week playing with the team, with the senior team, the qualifiers, and I'm playing with Al-Farouq Aminu, Ike Diagu, like NBA, NBA guys who've played for a long time. And, I broke records that time. And the rest was history. And then I think I led the team in scoring in the Olympics and a World Cup. I played a few games and I sprained my ankle, but it's been great. Like, he's definitely hard on me, but it's from a good place.
What was the best advice that he gave you for your career?
The best advice he gave me is probably, he always says, the sun is always going to shine. There's going to be days where it's not great, but at the end of the day, the sun's going to shine. So when, I'm having a bad day on the court or have a bad game or practice, miss shots, like, he just always tells me, like, he knows the player I am. I should know the player I am. Like, nobody can stop me from basically shining because, like I said, the sun always going to come out. Might have a couple cloudy days, but the sun's going to be coming out soon. So
I would like to talk about the college experience, the MBA, of course, and of course, Zvezda. But I just wanted to ask you one thing first. I was super happy when I found it out. You are the owner of the Džordan Nwora Foundation. You're helping underprivileged kids all around the world. So would you like to tell us more about that?
So, I started this foundation once I had the opportunity to in the NBA. Obviously, my dad played a huge influence in it. He does a great job helping me run everything. So what the mission is really is, we provide free camps to kids in Africa, all over Africa, mostly, Western Africa, Nigeria, countries around there, just to kind of have the opportunity to play, showcase themselves. And, a lot of kids, we actually end up, the kids that have a chance and we see them, we get them, families that will take them in America, put them in schools. We have some kids right now that are ranked, have big Division I offers that were in my camp 2 years ago, not knowing what they were going to do. So we just really give people opportunities. There's so much talent in Africa and people don't really, get the opportunity to show. There's not a lot of, they don't have the resources that, they need. So, being able to do it. Obviously, I was raised in America, but my dad was raised in Nigeria, and it meaning a lot to him means a lot to me. I've seen it, so it means the world to me. And then I always finish with a camp back home in Buffalo just to give back. There's not a lot of professionals, basketball players from Buffalo, so just being able to show them that also being in Buffalo, you can make a name for yourself and follow your dreams. So it's really super important for sure.
It's amazing what are you doing, but I didn't understand. You're doing this in Nigeria and even in the States.
So I do camp in Nigeria. Last year we had camps in Nigeria, Cameroon, Kenya.
Oh wow.
And there were maybe one or two other countries who did it. And then I finished after all those camps.
Okay.
We do one camp back home in Buffalo.
Okay, but you're bringing even some colleagues, some like friends, players, or you're doing alone to do that?
So in Africa, we have, my dad has kind of his, I don't know how to word it, his, not party, but group of people that he's worked with in the past, years past, coaches from different places that travel and have the time to go in the summer. So he takes a bunch of them and goes over to Africa. And then in Buffalo, sometimes I have some friends come, you know, come back to the camp, just to show love. But it's awesome. You know, the kids love it. They get free jerseys, free shoes, free everything. So it's good for everybody. So,
I would like to talk about one period of your life, high school and college. So how was your experience?
So growing up in my house, I mean, my mom is a doctor, so she took school very serious, not only for me, for my sisters, everybody. She always was on me about grades. It was a little tougher for me too. I'm the first child. I don't know if people would know, the first child's always like the, you know, that's not the test child, but I was getting everything thrown at me. I don't think my sisters have as much pressure as I have.
Are you a little bit spoiled?
My younger sisters are spoiled for sure. But no, they were always, grades were always super important in my household. In high school, I wasn't, for the longest time, I wasn't really a very high rated recruit. I was always young for my grade. And I was kind of what you can say, like I was a late bloomer. I always had the talent, the skill. I grew, I think, in my sophomore year of high school, but I didn't look how I look now. I was like, if you saw Jordan a couple years ago, you'd be like, who is this guy? But, you know, after 2 years, I went to public school for 2 years, high school, and then I transferred to a really big, you know, private school in Buffalo that we brought in a lot of good basketball players. I think I had 4 Division I players on my team in Buffalo, which is kind of unheard of in that area, to have 4 people going to Division I schools. And I had a couple guys go D2. We had a really good team, won a state championship, did all that. I ended up going to prep school, and I never knew that I was going to go to Louisville. For the longest time, I was a Syracuse fan. My mom's from there, so I never had really a lot of big offers. I ended up blowing up one summer, going into my senior year. And one day we have an open gym. Kenny Johnson, the assistant coach from Louisville, was in there to look at one of my other teammates. I ended up playing really well. The following week, we have another open gym, and then Rick Pitino walks in. And it's like, oh shoot, Rick Pitino's here. Obviously, everybody knows Rick Pitino. And after that, I had another good week. I had an offer. I took a visit maybe 2 weeks after that and committed to Louisville. I mean, not a lot of people can have a Hall of Fame coach, you know, sit you down, tell you they can make you a pro at a college or university that, you know, is all about their sports. You know, basketball is like, in the city of Louisville, basketball is like how it is here. Like, everybody loves it. The fans are crazy, and they treat us like, you know, like we're super important to them. So I had a great college experience. I have a house. I live in Louisville now. I have a house there, so I end up staying there. But it was definitely a fun journey for sure.
Weird question. I heard that from other players. It's true that the fans are better at college than in the NBA.
100%. 100%. It's just different, you know. And I played. Obviously, I won a championship my rookie year. Those games are obviously crazy, but you know, NBA, there's 80 games. You know, every other night there's a game, so it's tough to. You're not gonna have sold out crowds every other night. You know, people have things they gotta do and everything. College, you're playing like now. Like, you might have a game once a week in your arena. You might be somewhere else. So, you know, when you have that one game, everybody's there showing up, especially if you're at a big school where, you know, they love basketball. So for sure.
You mentioned your rookie year in the NBA. Let's talk about that, because it was 2020, right?
2020.
You were drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
And I can imagine how did you feel in that moment, because for you guys, for American players, for American kids, this is the dream, the NBA.
It was crazy. I remember I had a draft party, and I knew for a long time, I knew I was going to go to Milwaukee. They obviously had called me, my agent, so it was more so just waiting for the pick. They actually bought a pick to draft me, and my agent pushed me through to get to Milwaukee. But it was just a surreal moment, you know, growing up my whole life. Nobody expected that I was going to be, you know, the player I kind of turned out to be, both in college to make it to the NBA. I mean, my freshman year in college, I averaged 3 points. My sophomore year, I was averaging 18. So it's like the jump I made then, and then I did it again my junior year. And then when having the opportunity to go to the NBA is like a dream come true. Just all the time you spend, all the games you watch, and it's just like that little fraction of people that ever get a chance to do it. So it just shows how, you know, like I said, dreams come true. It happened. I didn't shed a tear. I was more in shock. I know I had some family members that were crying. You know, it was an awesome moment for sure.
Was your discipline, was your mindset, what made you convert in this kind of player?
I think the mindset I had was, I've always felt like I was a good player. I think I put in a lot of work on my own time. I spend so many hours in the gym where people don't see it, just working on my game. So I think the biggest thing for me was opportunity in college. I didn't play much my freshman year. We got a new coach that came in my sophomore year that made me a priority, and we ended up being a team that nobody really expected to do well with a new coach, to go into the NCAA tournament. And then my junior year with the same team, being the #1 team in the country, top 5 the whole year, and then having a chance. We would have had a chance to win the championship if it wasn't for COVID. We would have been a top seed in the NCAA tournament, but COVID happened. Everything happens for a reason, I say. You know, it worked out well, I guess, in my situation. I got a championship the next year. But the biggest thing for me was opportunity. And I think it's the same thing here, you know, at Red Star. I think I'm getting an opportunity here that I didn't get last year. And like I say all the time in interviews, the biggest thing to me is that having a coach that trusts you and has confidence in you, because when you have certain types of players that have the talent, have the skill, if you don't instill that trust and confidence in them, how can they kind of reciprocate that, right? So I think that was the biggest thing with, you know, Coach Mack at Louisville, and even now with, first with Giannis, obviously, when he was here, but then Sasha now, since he's taken over, he's a different kind of guy, but he's been great. Like, I understand him, great coach, and he's kind of, you know, putting me in the right positions to be the player I can be.
He has a specific energy. He's particular.
For sure.
He was very energetic as a player, but even as a coach, he's super concentrated, but we can see his feelings. It's like he's boiling inside.
Yeah, all the time, for sure. But it's always from a good place. Like, he loves basketball. So, you know, that's something as a player you want your coach to have that passion and fire. So
let's talk about Zvezda. Okay, Zvezda is your second experience in Europe. Your rookie year in the EuroLeague was Anadolu Efes, and now you're in the best country when it comes to basketball. I think you agree with me. You're in the best.
I agree, yeah.
So tell me how everything started with Crvena Zvezda.
I had a tough season last year in Efes. You know, mentally, I don't think I was the player I could have been. There were some things that happened off the court with stuff we don't even talk about here, but there was things that happened off the court that kind of messed with my head a little bit. So I just really wasn't the player I felt like I could have or should have been last season. And it was a tough year for me. Obviously, my first year being out of America, living in Turkey, kind of a culture shock. But, you know, the season was ending, and I knew that I needed a change of scenery. And obviously, you know, I was getting calls, and one that really stuck out to me was, you know, Giannis called me and Milan, the guys at Red Star. I think at this point, Chima had already committed. Yeah, Chima had committed. Obviously, I knew about the, passion. Semi had committed, and I played with Semi in Milwaukee, so I talked to him a little bit before I decided. But coming here, I said it the whole season. I said we played Red Star last year here in a big game. Like it was fighting for a playoff spot.
Exactly.
I think we won in overtime or something that game. But they had 20% of the fans couldn't be there that game. I think something happened where they banned fans. But even still, it was the loudest arena that I was in the whole season. And we played Partizan, and it was packed full. We played Pana, packed full. Olympiacos, packed full. But that game with 20% of fans out was still the loudest gym that I think I've ever played. And even now, like, the memory of it is crazier than I think even being there, because I just remember how loud it was. And I think for me, like, a big decision was the passion everybody has here, and also like the pressure of it. Like I like the pressure of having to, succeed. Like I like that people expect us to do well. Like they love it so much that they want us to do well. So that all played obviously the guys who came in, the coaches all played a big role. But I knew pretty quickly after about a few days, I made a few phone calls and I decided, Zvezda is going to be, the team for me. I'm going to be in Belgrade. So, yeah.
You were telling me about this situation when you came here with Efes and about the feelings, but how does it feel now to wear this jersey, to be a Zvezda player?
It's crazy. I say it all the time. I'm usually a kind of like really chill guy. Even when I play, like I've always been kind of just, like my emotions don't really change a lot. But now that I'm here, it's like the fans like the energy kind of just like seeps into you. Like you feel like you have to have that energy, that passion. And it's great. Like it brings out a whole nother side of me, and like in a good way. So it's amazing having the jersey and playing here now and getting to see it every game. It's been awesome.
In a couple of weeks, you're gonna play the Derby. But okay, you've been living here for 3 months, right? Around 3 months, but can you understand now the rivalry?
Yeah, I understand the rivalry. I get, people stop me in streets if it's Partizan fans, Red Star fans saying all types of stuff. But I saw it last year just watching on TV. Yeah. I can only imagine what it's gonna be like to play in it. I know it's crazy. I know how much it means to both sides. So I'm super excited. I'm sure that I'll probably never play in an environment like that. Maybe for the rest of my career, depending on maybe the next Derby. But I think that from what I've seen and everything, I think it's going to be one of the craziest, atmospheres and fun games that I'll play in.
Tell me a funny situation. Do you have some interesting funny situations with Zvezda fans?
I think the funniest situation I had this season, because I went back the next day in the locker room and I was like, this is crazy. I was trying to get to my car after a game, and there's kids everywhere, like just waiting for us to go to our cars. I think this is the first time I've ever had this happen. I'm walking to my car and like kids are grabbing my hair. Everybody just grabbing my hair. I'm like, and I'm not gonna like freak out, like they're kids, I can't, but they're all like just grabbing my hair. I'm like, what's going on? I can't even shut my door. They're like touching my hair. I'm like, that's probably the craziest thing. But other than that, it's been all cool interactions.
You're everything for them. They love you. Yeah. So you've noticed that.
Yeah,
you've noticed that.
For sure.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. I wish you a great and successful season. And to wrap up, we'll wrap up this show in a different way. You have this camera. If you would like to send a short message to the fans, you can do that.
For sure. All right, Zvezda fans, I just want to say thank you for all the support every game. We're going to make you guys proud. The goal is the Final Four, and we're going to keep winning games.